Hello and welcome to Dialogue. China and Italy, as outstanding representatives of the Eastern and Western civilizations at the two ends of the ancient Silk Road, have enjoyed time-honored exchanges and cooperation as the two countries embrace its 54th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relationship and the 20th anniversary of comprehensive strategic partnership. How should both sides continue to champion the time-honored Silk Road spirit in today's world? What kind of potentials do we see between two sides in trade, economic, cultural, and other fields? And what kind of a future will be beneficial not only for China and Italy, but also for the whole world? Join us for our discussion today from Beijing. I'm Xu Qinduo. Our special guest in the first part of today's discussion is Maria Rosa Azzolina, President of the Italy-China Institute. Welcome to Dialogue.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Well, in the introduction of your institute, it says, I quote, the mutual knowing between Italy and China has its roots in a distant past, or, quote, a present that comes from afar. For those who are not familiar with the long history of the engagement between Italy and China, tell us, what are you referring to?
Our institute was established in 1971 from a senator in the Italian Republic, Vittorino Colombo. He created our institute for facilitate diplomatic and cultural relationship among China and Italy. And since then, we are following his path. At the same time, he created another association inside the parliament, which is called Friendship of China, Parliamentary Friendship of China. They are the two creatures of our founder.
Well, we know that your institute has dedicated to the promoting of cultural, economic, and political engagement between the two sides. So what kind of activities or events, as an example, has your institute recently involved in, for example?
We are very focused on cultural exchange. So we did many important exhibitions among Italy and China. Leonardo da Vinci's exhibition in Beijing, and then in Shanghai and in Hong Kong. We've been doing this for the last few years, and we do a lot of research, jointly research among our university and the Chinese university, and as well in research on medical segment. We create a kind of path among Italian hospital and Chinese hospital for the cancer research in order to find together new solution for cure the treatment. So we are very focused on something that is related to the past, but very actual in today.
According to this National Tourist Board of Italy, China's outbound tourism potential is enormous and crucial for Italy, as tourism represents a significant part of Italian economy. So what kind of potential are we talking about here?
About 20 years ago, was estimated a potential number of Chinese tourists around 100 million. Around the world. Now we discussed about having at least 5 to 6 million Chinese tourists in Italy. I think there is still a big job to do. Most of the tourists come to visit 5 to 6 cities in Italy, but if we want to improve this number of visitors, we need to work as well on the returning guests. The one that also are high spender and can come back to visit more destinations in Italy that now they don't know, of course. We need to work on this direction for sure. Winter Olympic 2026 will help on that because we will promote more smallest destination, more places in Italy. The same is for China, I believe. Italians know some of the cities and itineraries have been always similar for the last 25 years. Considering China as a real interesting country with many regions and different landscape, and monuments. We need to make more effort to push the Italian tourists to come more on time and visit different places. I believe it's a mutual goal. We need to have more Italians to China and more Chinese visitors in Italy. But to do that, we need to explain to people what they can see.
Right, it's a mutual effort from both sides. Yeah. And related to that, in late September, we have this first regular direct passenger flight from between Milan and Xi'an in China. So that took off, of course. That has been a long-awaited flight and also one of the fastest flights compared to all other, actually, Chinese routes. And also at the same time, we know earlier than that, actually, the Chinese side offered this visa-free treatment for Italian citizens. If they want to come to China, they can book a flight, book a ticket, and fly to China, without the visa, all those hassles. So, I guess these moves are factors that will boost this bilateral tourism. Is that the situation?
Yeah. This new flight is a result of a big effort of our institute. We really did a big job to do that with 4 bilateral meetings in Xi'an and Milan. So we really believe in that. The flight opened directly among the 2 cities with a long cultural history and an important chance of cooperation also on the industrial side, because Xi'an has 7 different industrial area that can be interesting for Italian industry. Xi'an has more than 100 museums, 80 universities, a lot of vocational school, and the idea of the direct flight is really helping on the cooperation. The visa issue, as you just say, this is still under discussion, because we can come to China with no problem. We don't need a visa anymore. But to come to Italy is still quite a process to get the visa. So even though our local consulate and embassy are trying to do their best to facilitate the number of requests that probably are not so easy to create a fast environment for our traveling from China to Italy. So this is the focus. We need to do something as well to create, facilitate the visa process for Chinese guests coming over to Italy.
Mm-hmm. So there's work to do. And on the economic front, especially if you look at trade between Italy and China, of course, it's about $70 billion a year between the two sides. And Italy is China's 4th largest trading partner inside the European Union. And also China is Italy's largest trading partner in Asia, let's say. And of course, there's a huge increase in terms of trade from 2019 to 2022. So how do you look at this trade potential, the future of a trade relationship between the two sides?
Okay, to be honest, I'm not really an expert on the economy and financial. So it's not focused our institute as well on that, but my humble idea is that Italy is made by small and medium enterprises. We have been the base of our cooperation among Italy and China, and the strong will to cooperate of the enterprises should be facilitated by the 2 governments. So I believe that we can have a very good, important platform in China as well as Italian market.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, when we talk about this bilateral trade relationship, we can't go without mentioning this recent, let's say, extra tariffs on the Chinese electric vehicles, of course. But there are analysts pointing out that, without a clear industrial vision and further investment, Europe risks falling further behind in green technologies. On the other side, we do see Italian government, for example, is working with Chinese factories, for example, Dongfeng Motors Group, in talks about having them, building factories in Italy. How do you look at this whole issue here?
Also about this, I need to relate by expert in the fields. From what I understand, we already lost position on green technology as Italy, especially on automotive. Europe need in a way Chinese know-how. On that, we really need to pursue a green goal, and then we need to go for it. And as well, China economy need to be in the European market. So I think, again, if we can cooperate together and try to find the best of each other, we can have a very good result. We know that some of the Chinese car company open in Europe and produce in Europe, and we're really looking forward China to come over Italy to do the same for the electric car. But as you know, at this moment, there are some difficulties on that.
Yes, cooperation, that's the way to go. And of course, related to that, there's importance of people-to-people exchange, and of course, cooperation in other cultural sectors, education, for example, arts. What more can we do in that respect?
That's a good question. We can just going on in our cooperation on every artistic and educational and research and science fields. All those cultural base take more responsibility and knowledge among the countries, and will take further our discussion and resolution on the future activities. I think that the culture will be the only way, cultural and knowledge will be the only way to make our countries more cooperative and nearby, because it's just Italy and China have been always together in the past, and our history is back to hundreds of years ago. This year we have a 700 anniversary of Marco Polo. He was considered one of the first ambassadors in China, and to be honest, he was the first one that exchanged on technology and among Italy and China, and took our point of view to China and the point of view of China and Italy. It's a very important path. They started so many years ago. Of course, the time is changing. We need to readapt on the new time, all the relationship, but based on the friendship, I think friendship among the countries, we could reach the best goal.
Mm-hmm. With Prime Minister Meloni's China visit, some analysts pointed out that that visit signaled the bilateral relations between the two countries are back on track, but it's a different track, one that is increasingly shaped by not by the two countries, but by the broader geopolitical dynamics, like China-European Union relationship or China-US relationship. So what's your take on this statement?
We need to consider that now, of course, there have been many different itinerary among our discussion and the country discussion. The globalization is a word that needs to be read in a different and new point of view. If we look for fast acceleration on every sector, make us realize that no global problem can be afforded by a single people or nation. So I think also our Prime Minister is trying to take the new path for the new Silk Road and established of the new 3 years agreement that has been prepared and signed is a good step on this direction.
Mm-hmm. A good step in the direction of the relationship. So any hope for the, what's your expectation? What's your hope for the future of China-Italy relationship?
I really believe and I really hope that we can have a very mutual growing knowledge together to find a new way to take over the Silk Road again among our countries in a very practical way. This is something we are really looking forward to because it's been a period, difficult period, and it looks like now something is changing and going on the right path.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for speaking with us. Let's have a short break. We'll be back right after this.